You're tuned in to the Burrage Sports Show.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's the Burrage Sports Show. In my opinion, we are the dopest and the hottest sports podcast out there on social media. I'm one of your hosts, Mike B, and I'm here with my son,
Mike Burr.
Mike Burr is in the house. We have the super producer, April T, on the ones and twos. We just got through the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, and now it's conference time. 4 teams standing. You win, you get a trip to the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay.
Yep.
You'll be playing in February. So let's just go right into it. Tampa Bay versus Green Bay. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Bills. It's going to be hot. Mike Burr, how do you feel about the conference playoffs?
So we got 2 high-flying matchups. It couldn't have ended up better. I mean, you got Rodgers versus Brady, and you got Mahomes versus Josh Allen. But, I want to talk about the Chiefs first. So we know Patrick Mahomes last week got 2 injuries, actually. Messed up his ankle, and then went down with a scary-looking concussion.
True.
But as it stands right now, it's Wednesday night. He's on track, and he took all the snaps in practice this week. So it's looking like they're not looking at Haney as the backup. It looks like Mahomes is still going to play. But my question is, you just paid Mahomes $500 million. Is it worth risking him potentially getting hurt long term for this season?
I say yeah. Players play. Now, they say technically he still is in a concussion protocol, which that's a very delicate thing.
Very.
He was, at first they said he had a full practice. Then the Chiefs corrected it and said he had a limited practice. But if he can go, you put him out there in the field. Players play, especially when they're making half a billy. There's no sense of babying him. He's a grown man. And again, if the doctors clear him and he can play, you got to put him out there on the football field.
Yeah, that's what it looks like the Chiefs are thinking. And, to have a chance to win a second Super Bowl in 2 years or repeat, that would be something special.
But let me ask you this. If he doesn't play, can the Chiefs win with Chad Henne? He was a hero.
No.
Okay, that ended that narrative very quickly.
No, he did. Now, we got to give some respect to Haney. He came in, he did throw a pick, but he made 2 big plays at the end of that game.
One with his legs, one with his arm.
Yeah, great run, showed some toughness, and then he made the easy pass to Tyreek Hill, but it was on target. He had to make it on 4th down and ended the game. So that's what you want your backup to do. Just maintain the lead, don't lose it. And he did that. They won the game. But going up against Josh Allen and the Bills, for 4 quarters is a lot different than coming in for 5 minutes,
But can he win, though? That's the question. Can he win it, though?
I just don't see it. It's the reason why he's a backup.
Okay. Yeah, the Bills have the 5th best passing defense in the NFL. So
yeah,
and they looked really good on defense last, against the Ravens. So I get that, but it might be a possibility. I mean, that's something. A concussion protocol is no joke, man.
Yes, especially with the the recent changes, with the lawsuits, so they're taking it a lot more serious.
Yeah, with the CTE and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it would be a shame if we don't see Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for all year. He's the most exciting guy in the NFL, signed for the half a billy. He's the defending, Super Bowl MVP. So I would love to see him out there on the field, but we don't know yet. Everything's still up in the air. But let me flip it on the Bills side. They're going to be in KC.
Yep.
Limited amount of fans. But do you think the Bills have an honest chance of winning this game against the Chiefs on the road?
I think they have a lot more than a chance. You know, I think this Bills team is serious. I think Josh Allen is serious. And you have to look at what they did in the first two matchups. They went up against the Colts, one of the top defenses, put up 27 on them, won that game. The Bills defense absolutely shut down Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
True.
And they put up 17 on and made big plays when they needed to on that Ravens defense. And the Chiefs, they've been struggling. And the struggles haven't stopped. I mean, they put up 19 in that first half versus the Browns. But, a weird rule in the NFL, the game could have been closer in the first half because the Browns basically lost the touchdown that they had. And then in the second half, the Chiefs offense kind of stalled out even before Mahomes got hurt.
True.
So the Browns had a real shot to win that game. It wasn't like a convincing all-out victory. And now Patrick Mahomes dealing with injuries too. I think they have a chance with a fully healthy Chiefs team if they were playing a fully healthy Chiefs team. But especially with Mahomes hurt and them struggling already, I think they got more than a shot.
How big a upset is it if the Bills beat the Chiefs? Or will it be an upset? It's definitely got to be an upset, right?
Yeah. I mean, the Bills but they are 15 and 3 as it stands on the season.
Yeah, they are.
So they only lost 3 games in the regular season. And Josh Allen is an MVP candidate.
Certainly.
So I don't think it's that big of an upset. It would be an upset, but it's not a huge upset.
Yeah, and especially with Mahomes a little staggered. But the Chiefs are thinking about dynasty building. They're thinking beyond just this season. I think for them to be what they're looking to be is to be considered like one of the great teams of an era. And to be a great team of an era, you have to win at least 3 Super Bowls in a decade.
Yep.
So I think the Chiefs are going to have a lot of pressure on them because, number one, they're at home. They're the defending champs. They're favored to win. But again, I think they're also looking to be that dynasty type team. The last time we saw a dynasty team was really the Patriots and the Cowboys. The Cowboys won like 3 and 4 seasons. We know about the Patriots' dominance. 9 times they went to the Super Bowl with Brady winning 6. So the Chiefs kind of want to be in that rare air. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on them to win this game.
Yeah, and I think that's been, the difference this season. Because, I mean, you look at the roster, you look at the players, not much has changed. They still had a high-flying offense, but it's a big difference playing as the hunter, and now they're the hunted. They're getting every team's best because they're the defending champs.
Yeah.
And so even when they play, a team you think they should blow out, it's been a tight game.
I wonder, man, with Patrick Mahomes and that $500 million contract, does he have a mattress just made of gold? Like pure gold. It's uncomfortable, but he still likes to sleep on it when you make that type of money.
And the crazy thing is, back to how big of an upset would this be? Looking at the stats this year, you could argue Josh Allen right now is playing better football than Patrick Mahomes. I mean, look at the numbers. 69, he has a higher completion percentage, 69 to 66.
Okay.
They're about the same in yards. Josh Allen has 4,500. Mahomes has 4,700.
Okay.
Yards per attempt is almost even at about 8. 37 touchdowns to 38.
Who has 37?
Josh Allen has 37. Mahomes has 38.
Okay.
That's almost the same. Josh Allen did throw 4 more picks, 10 picks, and Mahomes only threw 6. But Josh Allen ran for over 120 more yards than Mahomes this year.
Okay.
So the numbers are almost identical when you look at these two.
Yeah, and hearing that, all I could think of is so. He ain't Pat Mahomes. And I like Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a beast, but so he ain't Patty Mahomes. He ain't Patty my homeboy, the next GOAT. So with that being said, give me a little prediction.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Chiefs. You know, I'm not gonna bet. It looks
Whoa.
it looks like Mahomes is gonna play this week. That's what all the signs are pointing to. So I gotta roll with the Chiefs. I'm not gonna bet against Mahomes. I do like the Bills though. I like
the
Josh
Bills.
Allen.
I like Allen.
But this is his first elite season. So
Right.
maybe they could do it. And that would be great for the Bills fans. But I'm gonna roll with the Chiefs. I'm gonna say it's gonna be 24-18.
Okay. And I gotta go. I gotta roll with the Chiefs too. I just can't bet against them, man. And we know their last like 9 games, they've been barely winning.
Yeah.
Key word is winning, but they haven't been blowing people out this year. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a close game too. I give it 24-21. I think the Chiefs win on the last second field goal, but I do think they make it to their second straight Super Bowl, and gonna, try to get this dynasty rolling to be one of the great teams. Now, we got another matchup. The Bucks with the GOAT, Tom Brady, versus the second GOAT, Aaron Rodgers of Green Bay Packers. They're playing in Green Bay. But let me give you a little context. They did meet this year, and Tampa Bay absolutely washed the Green Bay Packers. 38-10. Aaron Rodgers was sacked 5 times. He threw 2 picks. It was by far his worst performance of the year. He was awful against the Bucks. They were in Tampa Bay.
Yep.
It was their worst loss. I mean, it was just the worst Aaron Rodgers look. So my question to you is, can the Bucks do it again? Can they shut down Aaron Rodgers, who's been red hot?
Now, the Bucks defense has been, I would say they've been opportunistic this year.
They have been.
And last week versus the Saints played very good. They got 4 picks off Drew Brees?
Yeah.
They were, all over the field, creating havoc, getting sacks, making plays. That's what they're gonna need to do.
Well, they got you said sacks. Tampa Bay has the 4th most sacks as a team in the NFL. They have 48 sacks this year. And the leader, like, to give you some perspective, the leader, like the Pittsburgh Steelers had like 53 or something like that, 56. So they were right there. So that's what they do.
Yeah, and this defense is gonna need all of that this week, because if you let Aaron Rodgers take the ball in a clean pocket and throw it, you're gonna lose every single time.
True.
And like you said in the first game, they were able to put pressure on Rodgers, put him in the dirt. He gets frustrated, and now you have a chance.
Yeah, that's what happened.
And on the other side of the ball is no other quarterback you rather have in a playoff game than Tom Brady.
True.
And this is actually their first time meeting in the playoffs, which is
really? So throughout their illustrious careers, it's the first time meeting in the playoffs?
Yeah, because think about it. AFC, Patriots, and then the NFC, Rodgers was with the Packers. So they never went to the Super Bowl together, obviously.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is an exciting matchup. We have, obviously, the GOAT, Tom Brady. I think that's undebatable at this point. But then you got Aaron Rodgers, who's a guy, a lot of people say he's the greatest thrower of the football. Just like if you watch him, he's the most accurate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He has a case. And my question is, as they stand right now, who would you rather be a receiver for? In this game, would you rather suit up and play for the Packers or play for the Bucks? Who, if you were a receiver for them, who would make you look the best? Because we know both of them can put the ball right in the pocket and hit you in stride.
True. But, before I answer that question, let me make a backtrack and make a little bit of a correction. Tom Brady was with the Patriots for about 20 years in the AFC.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers about 16, 17 years with the Packers in the NFC. And I really just asked, they never met in the playoffs? So forgive me, all the sports fans, for asking a Captain Obvious dumb question. So let me just fix that before I move forward. But it's a podcast. We're live, baby, so stuff like that happens. But no, I think I would prefer to have Aaron Rodgers throw me that football. Because he throws a beautiful football. And his receivers get paid under his tutelage. Brady, with the exception of when he had Randy Moss, it wasn't even fair. I don't even know how they didn't win the Super Bowl that year. They were undefeated coming into the Super Bowl. But other than that, he's thrown the football to a whole lot of guys.
Yeah.
But who are they? Like it hasn't done a whole lot for their careers. I mean, don't get me wrong, they won, they win the league, they part of, but you know, he doesn't like focus on just one guy and make a guy a superstar. It's still all about him. But with Aaron Rodgers, I just think you get a lot more pub as the catcher of the football as opposed to Brady being the thrower of the football. And I know that might sound weird. I don't even know if that makes sense, but that's just kind of my opinion. I would much rather catch it from Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I get what you're saying because, like you said, to have the amount of Super Bowls, the amount of success, and it's only a handful of receivers that you could say were elite that played for him.
Right.
And you know, that's a testament to how good Tom Brady is and how good, you know, the Patriots defense was. But yeah, I would have to agree because Rodgers, his guys put up big numbers. They get big stats. They get big contracts. But with Brady, you got a chance to win a Super Bowl every year. I think I'd rather be on Brady's team. You may not have the flashiest numbers. You know, you're going to have to do a lot of blocking. You're going to have to do, you know, put in more work in the trenches. He's not going to focus on you. You're not going to have a lot of 100-yard games.
True.
But you know, you got a chance to win a Super Bowl every single season.
True. And here's some of Aaron Rodgers' receivers who he really blessed. Greg Jennings, remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Remember James Jones?
Yep.
Donald Driver?
Yep.
Jordy Nelson? Trying to think of some more guys here.
And, you know, right now it's Devontae Adams and
right.
Lazard and all the guys he had.
Remember Jermichael Finley?
Yeah.
Got him paid and, you know, did some things for him. So I just think you come off a lot better with Aaron Rodgers. You just get, you know, Randall Cobb. Remember what he did for his career? You know, he just makes guys a lot better and they get a lot more attention, I think.
Yeah, that's interesting because he spreads the ball around as well, but at the same time, you know, it seems like he always has 2 or 3, you know, favorite targets that do get a lot of, you know, attention.
Yeah, I think so. Man, this is going to be an exciting week. So, with that being said, who do you think will win? They're in Green Bay. And just to give you a little context, I like to always talk about the weather in Green Bay because it is a frozen tundra. Even though Brady is used to weather too, because, you know, playing in Massachusetts ain't no joke either. But it's going to be about 20 degrees, snow. Green Bay was 7-1 at home, but Tampa Bay is no slouch on the road. They were 6-2 on the road. So who you rolling with? Who you liking this matchup of the AARP Bowl? These old receivers still kicking.
I gotta go with the GOAT. You know, I don't bet against Tom Brady. I think he'll be able to pull off the upset against the Packers. But even though the Packers, I mean, right now they're the best team in football. They've been dominating on both sides of the ball right now. But I think Brady's gonna find a way to win, like he's done his entire career. I'm gonna go Bucks 30-29.
Oh, wow. So you expect some points being put up on the board, huh?
Yep.
I'm going to have to go with the Pack, man. They've been, to me, I just think they're playing the best football in the NFL. They just look like they're running on autopilot. And like I say, they worked real hard to get the number 1 seed. This is Aaron Rodgers, I think, first time, because he's been to the NFC Championship game, you know, 5 or 6 times. This is going to be his first time at home. So I see them getting to the Super Bowl. I like the Green Bay Packers. I think they're going to win. I think they'll score in the 20s, maybe 28-14. But I think they're going to get it done.
You think the Packers defense is going to be able to hold Tom Brady to 2 touchdowns?
I think so. I think the weather's going to play a factor. I think they're going to control the ball. I just like everything that the Packers are doing right now. And if they're playing in Green Bay, man, it's a magical place.
Yeah, they're gonna bring their best, and that home field factor can't be taken for granted.
Yeah, and I mean, I know most, fans aren't there like normal, but it's still something good about being at the crib. Yeah. So that's it, man. We rocking and rolling, man. But I think they're gonna be good games this weekend. I think all of them are gonna be good games.
Yeah. Both of these games are exciting. I mean, I think, I did the comparison of Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes this season. Both of these are two of the best young quarterbacks, maybe even 1 and 2 right now.
Probably so.
And then on the other hand, you got the GOAT versus probably the MVP, Aaron Rodgers. So the best quarterback right now versus the best quarterback ever. So both of these are good matchups. Both of these teams played good defense and good offense.
Yeah. With that being said, let's get April T in here. She's been just chilling in the booth, ready to spin. April, hit us with some hot takes.
So since we're on football, we'll kick it off with that. We have Deshaun Watson. He wants out of Houston.
Oh, really? You trade away his best wide receiver, and the team was absolutely abysmal this year. I wonder why he wants to leave.
This is interesting because, we know he just signed a huge contract last year.
True.
So realistically, I don't think this has ever been a situation where you get a quarterback, not even in their prime yet. He's only 25. He's a, Pro Bowl caliber quarterback already, has won some playoff games, has had success, and just signed a huge contract and is requesting a trade. So I just don't know how you could even pull this trade off if you're another team. Like, what do you give for a franchise caliber quarterback? Do you give like 10 first round picks and some players and some? So I think this is more of Deshaun putting pressure on the franchise to say, hey, I'm a winner. I won at Clemson. I won my first couple years here.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna sit here and be bad for 5 or 6 seasons. We need to do this. Needs to be a quick rebuild, or it's gonna get to a worse situation.
Yeah, and the thing about Houston, they signed them. They did an extension with them, 4 years, $156 million, most of it guaranteed, and then they got all weird.
Yeah,
it was so strange. Like, they were a pretty well run organization before that. They made the playoffs maybe 3 out of the last 5 years or something like that. And then when they decided to lock down Deshaun Watson and give him the big contract and have this generational talent and franchise quarterback, then the management team and the player personnel team just went bunkers. So it's very strange.
Yeah, the only trade I could realistically see happening is if the Jets or the Jaguars say, hey, we'll give you a couple draft picks plus, you'll either get Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields. So that way, that's the only way I can see this happening. And maybe that will happen.
But that'd be like punishing Deshaun Watson, man. He played all 16 games this year. Mm-hmm. Had a 70% completion percentage. Almost 5,000 yards passing.
Yep. 33
touchdowns to only 7 picks. He had a great year.
Another one.
A very efficient year. And now your reward, I mean, he got the bag now, don't get me wrong. But now you ship me off to the Jets or Jacksonville. Jacksonville won 1 game. Jets won, 3, maybe 4?
Yeah, so, but where else could he go? This is weird because he has a huge contract. He's a franchise quarterback. How valuable is that to an NFL franchise? How much do you have to give up?
I would give up everything for him. Who wouldn't want him? He should have been a Bear anyway.
Yeah.
We should have drafted him. We moved up number 2 to get our guy when we could have got Deshaun, but that's a whole nother story. Maybe we could make it right now and get him now. But my point is this. Houston shouldn't trade him. Houston, you have what every team covets more than anything in the world, a franchise generational talent quarterback. When we seen guys like Roethlisberger and Brady and Aaron Rodgers and Breeze, where you can start a guy for 15 to 20 years.
Right.
So you have that type of talent in Deshaun Watson. Don't let him go build a good organization around them.
Yeah, that's what they have to do. And like I said, I think it's more of Deshaun putting pressure to say, hey, we need to turn this thing around this offseason. Or, I don't want to play here.
And I think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But they had what could have been the best young 1-2 punch of all time with Deshaun and JJ Watt. If they played that right, but
talking
JJ
about
Watt
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson and
Hopkins.
Yeah, and Hopkins. Right. They had Deshaun, Hopkins, and JJ Watt. That's like a big three of top young talent at the core. That could be kind of like when Dallas had Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin. Like, they coveted that big three. And they had great guys on defense, but those guys were the ring. They had that, and they had them young and hungry, and they just somehow let it just get, blown up.
Yeah, they went from contender to pretender.
Yeah. Okay, Petit, keep flowing.
So next, some good news. The Chicago Bulls, they are actually in 11th place in the Eastern Conference. Their record is 6-8, so there's some hope for the young Bulls team.
I think so, man. I watched the Bulls' first 2 games of the season, and they were abysmal. And I said, wow, they are going to be the worst team in the NBA. Then they just did something. I don't know the coach. Maybe Billy Donovan's coaching philosophy was just starting to kick in. And they're competitive every night, man. They're playing some good ball.
Yeah, they've been playing well. And, it's going to take some time. They've been bad for so long. But, I like the changes they made in the front office. I like the change of coach. Zach LaVine is really hooping and carrying his team right now. And it's looking good. They're going to be decent. They might even make the playoffs.
Yeah. And who thought after 14, 15 games would be 2 games under 500? Usually we're like 9 under 500 at this point. So, yeah.
And also, lastly, we have the NBA is going to start enforcing rules to forbid hugging, handshakes, and just to tighten up on the security a little bit due to COVID.
Yeah. Like on the court?
Yeah, like on the court and everything, just preventing less contact between the players, trying to minimize that. Because some players have contracted coronavirus recently, so.
Yeah. I get the changes, but it's kind of weird. It's like, okay, you can't hug, you can't trade jerseys, but you play a full contact sport. You're sweating on each other, breathing on each other, backing each other down, dunking on each other. So it's like, but you can't hug after the game. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little more window dressing than practical, but
yeah, but they're doing everything they can. Keep the numbers
and
down.
We still got to give them
safe.
credit, man. What they did in the bubble last year, no cases. Great, exciting basketball, still crowned the champion. So they got a pretty good track record, so can't blame them.
Yeah.
And that is all that I have.
Yeah, good hot takes, man. Well, sticking with the NBA, let's talk about the Nets.
Ooh.
James Harden got his way out of Houston. So now, are the Nets the number 1 team in the NBA? Are they the team to beat? Because they have a bona fide big three. I say 3 of the 3 top 10 players in the NBA with Durant, Harden, and Kyrie Irving. Maybe the best 3-player ensemble in the NBA. If you could think of 3 better, let me know.
You would have to agree with that. I can't really the best, but definitely the best big 3 in the league right now.
Yeah, name a better big 3. Now, don't get me wrong. If you say a big 2, it's LeBron, right, and Anthony Davis, and then you got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Yep. You got Steph Curry and Clay. But name 3 better than those guys.
It's hard to do that, and I will have to give them that title. But the weird thing is about the Nets, Kyrie is back for just played a game tonight. But those first 2 games, they were impressive, but it was just KD and Harden.
True.
long term, I just want everybody has questions, right? How are Harden and Kyrie? They both do similar things. Harden's obviously has a more versatile game than Kyrie. He could pass it and score it.
True.
Drive it, shoot it. Kyrie's just more of a pure scorer, not really a playmaker. And Harden is a lot better on defense as well. Harden and KD look good. My question is it better to have a big two with Harden and KD than to have a big three where it's kind of awkward with Harden, KD, and Kyrie?
I can answer that very easily. There is someone who sits on that bench that make millions of dollars called a coach. Coaches do matter. And as a coach, you should always want a big three or four or five or six. It's your job to make it work. They hire Steve Nash. He's making millions of dollars as an NBA coach. He hires a staff. It is his job to develop a system where Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and KD can coexist and become a championship caliber team. Coaches do matter, but you never lessen talent in the NBA because of maybe what you might think is a chemistry issue or something like that. No, in the NBA, your job is to acquire talent and have a coach good enough to make it work.
Is Steve Nash that guy?
That's what we're gonna find out. That's what we're gonna find out. He's gonna be tested because the management team, they've done their job.
Yeah.
They attracted KD, Kyrie Irving, and now you pull off bringing in James Harden. They done their job. Now it is Steve Nash's job to develop a system where those guys can coexist and flourish and become a championship contending team. That's his job. What do you think?
I mean, I agree. It is the coach's job, and it's an interesting job. We never seen a team, assembled kind of like this on the fly in the middle of the season.
True.
You get an MVP, perennial All-Star. So I agree. It is going to be a lot of pressure on Steve Nash, and if they don't go to the finals, it's a failure.
It's a failure.
I would say if they don't win the finals, it's a failure. With all the draft capital you just gave up.
True.
And you got, like you said, 3 top 10 players, maybe 3 top 5 players.
True.
So if you don't win a championship, or definitely if you don't make it, it's a complete failure. But if you don't win, I'll say it's still a failure. And he's going to be the first guy that gets the blame.
Yes.
It's just the way it goes. But what is this team? What do you think about them this season long term? They're 2-0 right now, and
since Harden they're 2-0.
Yeah, well, since Harden they're 2-0. What I'm seeing so far is they can put up points, and we know obviously you got 3 of the best scorers probably in NBA history. But on the defensive end, that's where it seems they need a lot of work.
True. Well, defense is a matter of choice. I don't think they cannot play defense because KD can play D. Harden is very good at steals. He doesn't like a lot of hustle on ball D, but he's very good in passing lanes. Yeah. Kyrie, that's not even, a discussion. He's not known for his defense, but they have some other guys on the roster who could play D. But defense is always a choice. Defense is always a matter of determination because they have talented guys, and I'm not saying they'll be defensive stoppers, but if they decide to come together as a team and they want to be a championship team, they can improve on defense. But that's going to be a matter of choice and a matter of habit. And that's going to be a decision they're going to have to make. James Harden should definitely want to dedicate himself to the defensive side of the ball because he decided not to sign a 2-year extension for $100 million. And, if you give up $50 million a season and you want to go somewhere else, then you should put the work in. So it's going to be interesting, man. I'm looking forward to it, but I think it's going to be down to Steve Nash. Can he get in those guys' heads, and can they develop their own unique style of play, their own unique system, and get it done?
Yeah, that's what it's going to have to come down to. You know, he's going to really have to have a coach of the year effort to develop a system where everybody could be themselves, but they buy in on offense and they buy in on defense. My question is, with any big three in NBA history, like you can go back to the Bulls. You got
Superman, Batman, Rodman.
Right. It's a clear order of, you know, Jordan, Pippen, Rodman. It's you go back all the way to the Lakers. It's clearly Magic, Kareem, Worthy.
Right.
You go to the Heat big three. You know, that's why the first year didn't work, but then they figured it out. LeBron, Wade, Bosh.
Right, and they gave it to LeBron.
Yep. Who is the Chris Bosh on this team?
I don't think we know that yet, but I do know I would give the reins to KD.
Yeah, KD is obviously the best player. But who's second and who's third?
Oh, that's a tough question, man. Who's going to be the guy to sacrifice some stats and sacrifice some shots and do a little more grimy work? Because, like, yeah, all big threes have to do that. I would think it would have to be Kyrie, man. I think it would have to be Kyrie. You know, no, I take that back. I think it would have to be James Harden because I think James Harden he's always going to be able to get buckets, but he's a really good passer. I think he's underrated as a passer.
Yeah, he led the league in assists before.
Yeah, he has a strong body type where he can play D if he wanted to. He's very good in the passing lane. He can steal the ball. He just, you know, gets a little lazy in transition defense, especially. And a lot of, you know, he don't want to work sometimes too much in on-ball defense. But he was trying to store up a lot of energy because he was pouring out on the offensive end. But I think James Harden could make a transition to be more of a utility type guy than Kyrie, just because he has more the tools.
Yeah.
And he could still get you 19.
Yeah.
So that's who I would go with.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you. Because of some other reasons as well. You know, Harden, he knows how to play that role. Remember, he wasn't always the beard. You know?
True.
And OKC, he was a 6 man. So he could slide back into that role. Obviously, he's a lot better of a player, so he could step up when they need him to.
Yeah.
Whereas Kyrie, ever since high school, he's been the man. You know, he was the man at Duke. He was the man in Cleveland. And even when LeBron was there, he was still the number 2. So, you know, he went to Boston. He was the man. So I think he just fits that role better. And I agree. I think also because Kyrie, if he's not scoring the ball, what are you getting from him?
Nothing.
Yeah. So it's more important for Kyrie to have his possessions, to have more plays called for him, or just isolations called for him. You don't really need to call plays. Whereas Harden, he shoots so many free throws. He's a much better defender, especially now. I think could be even better because he doesn't have to drop 35 a night anymore.
True. Right.
So I think he'll play better on defense. And he could easily average, especially on this team, he could average 12 assists.
But with that being said, can they win the East? Are they better than Philly and Milwaukee and Indiana and Boston and the Miami Heat? Can they come out of the East? Tell me right now. We saying all this stuff. Are they going to come out of the East this year?
I mean, on paper, they're the best team in the
Right.
East. But you don't win games on paper. Right now, they're 4th. They are on a 2-game winning streak. But you got the Celtics ahead of them. You got the Bucks. You got Philly with Doc Rivers. They seem to be turning the corner.
Okay, Mr. Politician, I hear you talking. Will they come out of the East? Will they be the Eastern Conference champions this year?
It's early. As of January 20th, I'm gonna say no.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So who do you like favored in the East right now?
Right now, I really like what the Celtics are doing. You know, I think
What?
whoa, the disrespect. No, I really do like the Celtics. I think Jason Tatum has taken that next step. I think Jaylen Brown fits well, and you got Kimba. You got a vet. I like how they hustle. I like their unit. They've been together for a while.
Yeah.
So I think that'll definitely help them in those playoff battles. And I just honestly trust them a little more than the Bucks. We haven't seen Giannis dominating the playoffs yet. Philly, they always seem to just blow up right before the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then the Nets, like I said, it's early, so obviously a lot of things can happen.
Oh, of course. We're not
then.
locking you in. You can always make changes on this podcast.
But as of right now, I just don't know how it's going to work long term. And like you said, it's going to take a heroic coaching effort from Steve Nash.
Okay. What about you, super producer April? You was rolling with the Nets before the James Harden trade. Are you still on board with the Nets?
Yes. I think the Nets will make it out of the East.
Why?
Because there's no reason why they shouldn't. I mean, that's just. I don't think ego is gonna be a problem for the team in terms of KD, Harden, Kyrie, one of those three trying to be like the leader. I think they are all going to respect each other and do what they need to do to win, because they have one common goal, and that common goal is to beat LeBron. So
yeah, I gotta go with the Nets too. I think the Nets are gonna do it. I think superior talent, superior team. I think getting Harden kind of sealed the deal for him. I could see him coming out of the East. And will they beat the Lakers? If the Lakers make it, that remains to be seen. That's a whole nother podcast. We won't go there right now. But I do think they'll come out of the East. I have them to come out of the East.
Is LeBron Thanos? Like, you got it seemed like the Avengers always assemble. We got the Warriors at first. They assembled. And now KD's building another super team.
I know, man.
Just to beat LeBron.
Did you see those guys in RDC World?
Oh yeah,
yeah. That was one of their jokes. You know, if you guys haven't seen that, check out these podcasts called RDC World, and they do a reaction of LeBron once Harden went to the Nets, and LeBron actually tweeted it. He saw it himself and was cracking up. So you got to check that out, man, because like Mike Burr said, is LeBron Thanos? Everybody got to stack up and team up to stop him. But that just shows you LeBron greatness and his consistency. And LeBron did something really brilliant. He went out and got AD, which is very smart. You know?
Yeah, I saw on Twitter the other day someone tweeted, LeBron is really having people leave a state that has no state income tax, Texas, Harden, to take public transportation.
Right. You got all them big wide open spaces in Texas, no state income tax. Now you in Brooklyn, you got to ride the subway. But he just had to get out of the West, had to get away from Thanos, LeBron James.
And to that point, you know, I think moving to LA really strengthens LeBron's case for the GOAT. Obviously, 3 championships, 3 finals MVPs. Or, you know, with 3 different teams.
3 different teams, yeah.
That's still a...
But, no. But think about this. Everybody's saying, oh, you just did it in the East. The East sucks. You just did it in the East. He goes to the West, takes over the West, and everybody running to the East now. Think about that.
Yeah. Hey, look.
That's something.
If you don't give LeBron credit for the GOAT conversation, then you're just hating. You don't have to like him. But you got to be honest. He's one of the great players to ever pick up a basketball. Put some respect. And then he's doing this at 36 years old. I mean, this guy's still putting his head above the rim at 36 years old. He needs some credit for that. Just his consistency and how hard he still plays. And he's only 4 years younger than 40 right now.
Yeah, and when you're still the best player in the league, still the Finals MVP, at 36, when the only people you can be compared to are a lot younger than you, with a lot less mileage on them, you know, that shows you how good he is.
He is. And again, if you hate on LeBron James for being one of the great players of all time, you just drinking haterade. You ain't got to like him, but you got to be honest about who he is as a player. Has he passed Michael, though?
No.
No. I still got to say no.
No. But yeah, he's one of the GOATs, but he's not the GOAT.
Yeah, he's one of the GOATs. But you never know, man.
Three-P with LA. He the GOAT.
Yeah, he's still writing his story, man. So watch out, MJ. Brown is on your heels. Well, man, it's been a good podcast. I hope you people liked it out there, all of our winners. Check us out on every social media platform. We are everywhere. Every type of podcast, every type of place you can look us up on social media. Check us out. Subscribe, like, share, comment. We love our winners, and that's what we call our people who listen to our podcast. We love for you guys to get involved. Mike BURR, what you got to say, man, before we sign off? Man, this was a good podcast today.
Yeah, go Chiefs, go Bucks, go Lakers.
Okay. April T on the ones and twos. You got anything you want to holler at us with?
I just want to say, go Nets.
Go Nets. Go Nets. All right. Well, hey, man, it was a great podcast. All you people out there listening, again, check us out. Get involved. We want to hear from you. We want to keep growing this thing organically. We do this right in our own back cave. We have a lot of fun with it, and we hope you have a lot of fun with it. And as we always do, have a good night. And Mike BURR, drop the beat.